On January 7th, 2022, a story that grips the world of poker is finally coming to a head.
A Henderson man, one of 25 players, accusing one of their own of cheating. 13 Action News reporter Austin Carter explains how they say he swindled them out of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's the player versus commentator, the accused versus the accuser, the popular nice guy cheat against the razor-tongued whistleblower who'd first called him out. After a 14-month winning streak and then a 2-year multi-million-dollar legal battle, it all comes down to this moment, and neither is backing down. The craziest thing? They used to be friends back before this started. It's March 2019 at Stone's Gambling Hall, a casino sat between Interstate 80 and Popeyes in suburban Sacramento, California. A poker commentator is watching yet another bizarre hand unfold. Up until the previous July, one of the players had been really quite mediocre. The commentator, also a player, knows them on a personal level. The player is well liked, sure, although their play had been nothing special. But then, to bring in a new crowd, Stone's Gambling Hall launched their live streaming poker product. Play is broadcast directly onto YouTube and Twitch. And thanks to RFID technology, live streaming has become more affordable. RFID stands for Radio Frequency Identification. Sensors allow streaming viewers to see the private cards a player holds, without the need for extra cameras. Texas Hold'em Poker is being played. Each player receives 2 face-down hole cards. 5 community cards are then dealt face-up in 3 rounds with opportunities for betting in between. The first batch of 3 cards is called the flop, then comes the turn, and finally the river. Players battle for the pot by building the best 5-card hand, using their private hole cards, and then the community cards. Now, in recent years, poker has become harder to win, thanks to the rise of game theory optimal. According to game theory, if you follow the maths, there's a perfect decision for every betting scenario. Using math to count cards in blackjack is discouraged, because in blackjack you're playing against the house, who don't want you winning, but in poker you play against each other. Psychology still matters, but in the long term, players who use game theory nearly always come out on top. The experts claim that players who don't have mostly gone broke, but this guy who suddenly started wearing a hat and winning a lot isn't following game theory. In fact, he often makes the opposite decisions, to fold, call or raise just when game theory says that he shouldn't. Yet somehow, his decisions turn out right.
I think it's fluff for Postle also.
Yeah, Postle looking, and things have been going Postle's way.
For
so
sure.
Like how
Welcome to Stone's Live, bro.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. Watch 8
We call it Postley.
Since the start of the live streams, he's been beating almost everyone, including the commentator when she played. So now she's getting suspicious. How is he doing it? She shares her concerns with the tournament boss, Justin Curtis, who immediately dismisses her complaint out of hand. The live stream is deliberately delayed 30 minutes behind play. Quote, Stones is 100% secure and there is a 0 chance of cheating. The player, Curtis adds, is just better than everyone thinks. However, the commentator is sure he's cheating. She just doesn't know how. But one thing is for sure, she's stubborn and not willing to just leave this. By September 2019, the player's epic streak has been running for 14 months, banking him over $200,000 in profit. From small fry $1 and $3 games, it's a big deal. He's now a local hero, known as the Messiah and God, and the casino have made him their celebrity. It's great publicity to pull in extra business. One promotion even portrays him as Jesus. Quickly, the pots get larger. Big time pros with huge social media followings joining on the action, but most are losing. And now, others are also getting suspicious. He just keeps on winning. Casey Mills turns down an invite. Quote, I have concerns he may have found a way to cheat somehow. But once more, the livestream tournament boss, Curtis, assures the game is secure. Next, another pro, Jake Rosenstiel, asks the casino to investigate, but the casino declines. And then, on September 21st, 2019, the commentator, Veronicas Response, and player, Mike Postle, are reunited for yet another tournament, streamed at the Stone's Gambling Hall. It will be his 68th appearance, and last. One pro has flown in with $50,000 cash, and as usual, Mike is clearing up. But it's 5 hours in when things start to get really weird. 7 of the 9 players fold before the flop, leaving Mike, who has the Queen of Diamonds and Jack of Hearts, and popular Vegas pro Marley Cordero. The flop reveals the 8 of Spades, 9 of Diamonds and Jack of Diamonds, a promising selection for Mike, who, with 2 cards to come, already holds a pair of jacks. He only needs a 10 to score a hard to beat queen high straight. The turn produces the useless 4 of spades, and whilst Cordero makes a $600 bet, under game theory or any normal assessment, it's incredibly unlikely that Mike could lose. He pauses. He appears to be thinking hard. Why is he taking so long? And then, in a bizarre turn, he folds. It turns out he's right to do so, because Cordero is holding a queen high straight. Onlookers are shocked. Against all logic, he's somehow made the best possible money decision, despite it being totally illogical. Veronica's co-commentator, Justin Kelly, is amazed. Quote, "This is what I'm talking about, people. When he has a top pair and a straight draw, he's able to just lay down against the nuts. Postle is just like a freak. He's just a freak of nature." But this time, Veronica, a self-described analytics geek to whom mathematical sense means everything, can't hold her tongue. Quote, "It doesn't make sense. It's just like he knows. It doesn't make sense. It's weird." From the way she says it, it's clear what she really means. She means he's cheating, and from this point, there's no going back. On September 28th, she tweets an 18-minute video with clips of Postle's most unusual hands. Quote, "Am I unsure that this player is cheating? No. Do I think that there is a greater than 0% chance that he is? Yes. If we run the sim 100 times with players of equal competency, he's running in the 95th percentile. She believes that somehow Mike is seeing whole cards, or being told how to play, and it's now won him $250,000. But Mike is furious. He takes to Twitter himself, as he claims he's always played a unique high variance style, and then emails Veronica and asks her why she would, quote, "betray me and throw me to the wolves of public opinion." Suddenly, it's Veronica against Mike, and one of them is going down. The only question is, who? Poker is a game between players, not against the house, so respect between players is everything. Accusations of cheating without proof are enough to start a war. And fellow pro Matthew Berkey warns Veronica to be careful. Quote, "You're not providing enough evidence. In this game, trust in your word and your morality is currency." And because she's not well known as a player, the producers brought her in because she's attractive with a great backstory. Formerly, she was a refugee, DJ and registered nurse. Plus, she has a huge brain. The backlash Berkey warns her about soon follows. Veronica is subject to a sustained round of vile online abuse. With a growing community against her, how can she prove what she knows to be true? How could Mike be finding out in real time whether to fold, call or raise? Many other pros are starting to have doubts too though, and Poker Life podcaster Joey Ingram takes a deep dive on his own. On October the 1st, he shares his findings on just one of Mike's tournaments. In a 5-hour live stream, he highlights numerous suspicious hands where Mike looks down at a phone in his lap, right before an illogical but successful decision. Ingram's stream blows up, so he goes live again, every night for a week. And then his fans wade in with their own investigation, posting spreadsheets and graphs showing Mike won money in over 86% of the games, an almost impossible feat. Given the number of players and mathematical odds of Texas Hold'em. They again show the use of his phone, it's not even subtle. His voluntary put-in rate is highlighted as exceptionally high, plus a cap he wears with a strange bulge, perhaps some kind of receiver inside for information. They even share a clip of him repeat swiping his cards on the RFID reader, as if someone's told him that they haven't registered. And then, on October 3rd, ESPN SportsCenter anchor Scott Van Pelt makes his view clear. Quote, "If you were this good, why would you be playing in games with only a video feed at $1 and $3 tables at Stone's Poker Room? Why wouldn't you be playing in Vegas, winning all the money in the world?" Come October 4th, Mike appears on a podcast hosted by Mike the Mouth Matzel. He says that others are just jealous. Quote, "There was a secret hatred for me being made into, I guess, what would you compare to a reality TV star? There's no book or anything out there that can explain what I do. It's creative, diabolical. It's an MO of always trying to be the most unpredictable player at the table. But at this point, it looks like the tide has turned." Andrew Milner, inventor of the RFID equipped table, tells Karatis there's only one explanation. Mike's had some help. Someone involved in broadcasting the game is seeing the other players' hole cards live and sending Mike messages at the very least. Quote, "Do you trust your people? It doesn't matter how secure your environment is if you can't trust the guys running it. all other measures are irrelevant. Rumours say the security there is weak. One insider claims a masseuse visited them whilst working on a live stream and no one said a word. And on October 8, 2019, a $10 million civil lawsuit is filed by Veronica and 87 other players against Mike, Karatis and Stone's gambling hall. Quote, the plaintiffs have reason to believe the mechanisms through which these pyramid acts of wire fraud were carried out by Mr. Postle, John does 110 and Jane does 110, involved Mr. Postle's cellular telephone being grasped by his left hand while concealing under the poker table, and or Mr. Postle's baseball cap being embedded with a communications device creating an artificial bulge in its lining. That is notably absent in the photographs of the same baseball cap on Mr. Postle when he is not playing in Stone's live poker. The case heads to court and all parties are armed with top legal teams except for Mike, who, for financial reasons, including a divorce that's cost him everything, goes it alone. Or maybe it's part of his strategy. And in fact, despite the evidence, on June 3rd, 2020, a judge dismisses the case, citing a legal loophole, which means that in California, you can't recover poker losses for a civil court. Veronica, who'd also been emerging from a dark period in her life, is shocked. Quote, you can cheat on live TV and get away with it. So frustrating. It's not the money, it's the lack of accountability. And privately, Mike sees this as vindication, telling the journalist Veronica is a toxic, pathological liar who has proven narcissistic and sociopathic traits and has really gone off in the deep recently. I'll be able to give her not just the truth, but the shocking events of everything in detail, with the corresponding truth to corroborate it. He doesn't say when he'll do it though, and Veronica takes to Twitter to show that the fight is not over. She says Mike Postle is a cheat and no amount of attempts at vilifying me will change that. You're a scumbag, Mike. In a game full of bluff and counter bluff, everything is coming to a head. On August 5th, 2020, 60 of the 88 plaintiffs accept settlement. It looks like a victory for the investigation and an admission from Stones in the live stream organisers that Mike has been allowed to cheat his fellow players on their watch. But not everyone is happy. Veronica is one of the 28 who refused to receive any cash. She'd had to sign a statement saying that there was no cheating at Stones to do this. She's not giving up. But on August 14th, 2020, a separate lawsuit filed by Marley Cordero, the player Mike beat in his last live stream, is also dismissed. And on September 1st, Mike raises the stakes and goes all in, lawyering up and filing a $330 million defamation lawsuit against a dozen of his accusers, including Veronica. Poker celebrity Daniel Negreanu, player and podcaster Todd Whittles, three-time World Series of Poker winner Phil Galfond, and ESPN. Now, the accusers have become the accused. Everything goes quiet. Days go by. Weeks. Autumn turns to winter. No one knows how Veronica and her fellow pros and pundits will respond. But then, unexpectedly, it's Mike's legal team who make the next move. To his horror, they remove themselves from the case because bills need paying and Mike has no money. So now, things move fast. On December 8th, Todd files an anti-slap motion to dismiss Mike's lawsuit, declaring it frivolous and a violation of the Will's free speech rights. And on January 13th, Veronica files her own anti-slap motion. And in May and June of 2021, a judge finds in their favour, ruling against Mike, who does not appear at either hearing. A hearing that orders him to pay them $27,000 each for their legal fees and court costs. On April 1st of 21, Mike files to drop his defamation lawsuit. The weight of evidence still hangs over him. The strange holds, calls and raises that somehow turned out right. The odd behaviour, the phone on his lap, the cap that didn't look right, and that alleged 86% win record across 68 tournaments. So on January 7th, a confidential agreement is signed between Mike and various defendants who had not settled. Names and money amounts are not revealed, but legally, the Postlegate saga is over. Mike's reputation and his $250,000 worth of wins, which he claims is only $80,000 due to chips he'd borrowed, are tarnished. He withdraws from poker. To many, like Joey Ingram, it seals his guilt. Quote, how do you prove you're not cheating at poker? You go play poker. You would imagine that one of the best players you've ever seen in your life would have no issues saying. Let's play then. I can't really figure out an answer to why he won't do that. So despite the backlash, Veronica Brill is seen as a whistleblower who stood up for the whole of the poker community. She takes a break from the game before going on to host big money games. After the case, Stone's gambling hall continues to run its live streams. Many casinos up their security with stricter monitoring, enhanced device detection and clearer rules on live stream conduct. If Mike Postle did cheat, his mistake was to get greedy and win too much, because then people noticed. But that raises questions such as, are there smarter live stream cheaters still out there? Ones just flying under the radar by knowing when to lose.